Hello all, welcome to another edition of your boy Deluxe Man's WrestleMania Review Series. We are, let's count them, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 6 WrestleManias away from WrestleMania 33. I've been enjoying this series and hopefully you have too. Today, we look at, what's the tagline for this show? Get all fired up? What the hell? Yeah, okay. The WrestleMania known for getting all fired up, although I wasn't that fired up for it when it premiered, WrestleMania 26. I remember not liking this show all that much. I remember leaving feeling disappointed and not very happy with WWE. But, rewatching it, it's not a bad show, it's decent. It's as good as WrestleMania 25 at least. That's what I would think. And, of course, like WrestleMania 25, this show is known for one match and one match only. That is the second encounter for Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Only this time, it's streak versus career. Shawn Michaels' final performance in WWE and at WrestleMania. For me, that's the only thing that matters about this show. There were some good things about it. There are some bad things about it. But when I look back at WrestleMania 26, I remember it for being the final performance of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And yes, he is Mr. WrestleMania. Look, Taker is awesome. The Streak is awesome. Hogan is awesome. Austin is awesome. The Rock, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior. They're all legends, and all of them have left blood, sweat, and tears to help build and make WrestleMania what it is today. I am never taking anything away from any of them. However, none of them have left a long list of classics like Shawn Michaels. None of them have left a performance resume like Shawn Michaels. None of them have done as much for WWE like Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, but if Shawn Michaels did not exist, would WrestleMania be what it is today? No, it wouldn't. We wouldn't have had Austin versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. We wouldn't have had Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12. We wouldn't have had the classic ladder match between him and Razor Ramon. We wouldn't have had Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. We wouldn't have had the classic triple threat match at WrestleMania 20. We wouldn't have had the classic WrestleMania 19 match with him and Chris Jericho. There would not have been this amazing show that we call the grandest stage of them all if a Shawn Michaels never existed. And I'm sorry, I know most of you think The Undertaker is the real WrestleMania. I get it, I understand, because of the streak. But ask yourself this. When did the streak really start to matter? Because those first few matches, I dare say 5 matches that Taker had, were horrible. Did anybody care about the streak? No. Nobody cared about the streak until like what? Number 10, 11? I didn't start caring about it until he fought Randy Orton. That's real. That's honest opinion. Now, I love the streak. It's amazing. One of the hallmarks of WrestleMania. But, I'm sorry. To say Undertaker is really Mr. WrestleMania because of a streak that happened by accident. Because of a streak that happened by accident in terms of the reason why people care about WrestleMania, I'm sorry. That's just not how I feel. Shawn Michaels is and forever will be Mr. WrestleMania. And he left a big hole in my heart after he retired. Now, we knew he was going to retire. We knew that after basically Bret Hart came back and he forgave him, and after he had that last run at DX, we kind of knew, oh, alright, his time's winding down. He's about to be done. So when this match was announced, we all knew. We all knew it was Shawn Michaels' last match. And it's sad, man. Even watching it now, it's one of the saddest matches I've seen. And that hole in my heart doesn't get filled until a certain yes man comes in next year. We have a lot to talk about when that happens. WrestleMania 26 had an amazing set. Loved everything about this set. The stage was amazing. The ring, everything around the ring was amazing. It just looked and felt like WrestleMania. I feel like WrestleMania 24 had the better set. But in terms of great WrestleMania sets? Oh, definitely one of the top ones. One of the best ones. Absolutely. So, that's the positive I can say about the show. Everything else, you know, it's one of those WrestleManias I wouldn't watch again. Watch it once. Or at least watch the final match. Taker versus Shawn Michaels. And they were smart enough to put that as a final match. Because they learned their lesson last year. When that was not the final match and those World Championship matches suffered. Oh, they ain't doing that again. They knew, hell yeah, Shawn and Taker are closing the show. And it deserved to close the show. So we open up with Fantasia singing America the Beautiful. Great rendition. She is an amazing singer. The show was 4 hours. It premiered on March 28, 2010 in the University of Phoenix Stadium. That's in Glendale, Arizona. Yeah, Glendale. The attendance was big. Big attendance. 72,219. Commentary did not have Jim Ross. It had Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and Matt Striker. Poor Matt Striker. I'm marking out, man! I love Matt. He was not made for WWE. He wasn't. Ring announcers were Justin Roberts, Lillian Garcia, and Tony Chimel. This is the first WrestleMania to not have Howard Finkel. I think he does return for one more later on, but this is the only WrestleMania so far without him. It is what it is. No interviews, so I didn't put any interviewers on the card, so there you go. First match was the WWE Unified Tag Team Championships. Now I remember they combined the Raw and SmackDown Championships, which is why it's called the Unified titles. Okay, whatever. I wish they go back to these championship designs because those golden belts we get later on this year suck. I've always hated them. I don't like them now. But Miz and Big Show were tag team champions. Now, Jerry's show was awesome. ShoMiz. No. Not good. Didn't like it at all. And even worse is John Morrison and R-Truth. Why the hell? Why were they a tag team? No, for real. Why was John Morrison and R-Truth a tag team? Was it just one of those random thrown together tag teams? Whatever. The match was underwhelming. It wasn't all that good. A pretty poor start to WrestleMania 26. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, The Miz does go on to win Mr. Money in the Bank and cash it in to beat Randy Orton and become a WWE champion by the end of the year. Although, that reign we'll get into for WrestleMania 27. Because I got a lot to say about that. We have a triple threat featuring Legacies, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase. Now, Legacy was a really good stable. I felt like it should have gotten a lot more time than it did. But they were fine. I like the concept. It's second and third generation superstars coming together and demanding respect. And I thought all three of them had a lot of potential. Unfortunately, the WWE only cared about one guy. That was Randy Orton. And he turned babyface. I thought it was dumb. I'm sorry. Randy Orton doesn't work as a babyface. He never worked. He never works as a babyface. He just doesn't work for me as a babyface. He works amazingly as a heel. He's a great heel. He's always been a great heel. Especially in 2010, his run as a babyface sucked. Horrible stuff. And honestly, I felt like this match should have been given to a younger talent, or not younger. Well, they actually are younger, but you can't really say Randy Orton was young either. He was, what, 29, 30? He wasn't that young. Regardless, I would have given it to a newer talent, like Ted DiBiase, or Cody Rhodes. More Cody Rhodes than Ted, but whatever. Randy Orton won. Average match. Don't care. We got the 6th Money in the Bank WrestleMania match. I think this is the last one because they do have a Money in the Bank pay-per-view following this. So this is the last Money in the Bank match to be taken or to be done at WrestleMania. Right? We will see. I guess. We'll find out. But we have Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, Matt Hardy, Drew McIntyre, Kane, Shelton Benjamin, Dolph Ziggler, Evan Bourne, MVP, and Christian. That's 10 people all in one match. I don't know how I feel about that. 10 is a bit much. I prefer 6, 7, or 8's pushing it. I would prefer 6 or 7. We had 10. Whatever. The match was still good. It's a lot hard to have great, amazing matches with 10 people. But it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed some of the spots. Evan Bourne had a cool shooting star press moment. Of course, the highlights. Who do you think were the highlights? Kofi Kingston, Shelton Benjamin. You knew who the highlights would be when you saw them in this match. I love Kofi Kingston doing the stilt walk with the ladders. That was pretty cool. I was hoping at the time Drew would win. Drew McIntyre was the chosen one by Mr. McMahon. I thought it was going to him. No. I thought Dolph Ziggler was going to win. No. I thought Christian was going to win. No. They gave it to Jack Swagger. Why did you give it to Jack Swagger? Even I, right now, in the future, in hindsight, go, why Jack Swagger? He wins the championship later on this year, cashes in a briefcase and takes it off of Chris Jericho, and then has a very forgettable... Who did he drop it to? For real, who did he drop that title to? Was it Rey Mysterio? Yeah, because Kane cashes in on Rey Mysterio, so he dropped it to Rey Mysterio anyway, so... It was... Oh my god! What were they thinking? That was such a bad pick, and then he goes back into the mid-cards anyways. He has... just a cup of coffee with that championship, and it doesn't do anything for his career. Okay, whatever. That was dumb. I don't even know why they gave it to him. The match was good, but that was dumb. We had Triple H versus Sheamus. Why was Sheamus fighting Triple H again? I forgot. Triple H wanted to put him over, I guess. Decent match. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. They tried so hard. They tried so hard to push Sheamus as a world champion. They were getting flack for having the same people in the main event scene, Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Triple H, and Edge. And they weren't... The fans who said that, they weren't lying. It was a very accurate criticism. So they said, alright, you want new people? Here's Jack Swagger and Sheamus. I never got Sheamus. At least at this time, I was just like, why? Why him? Why not Shelton Benjamin or Christian or Drew McIntyre or the people who are actually good? Sheamus was green. Now, he got better. I think in 2012, he really started to find his own. But other than that, this is 2010. He still has a long ways off. And this match was decent enough to, sit through. But nothing worth talking about or going back and watching twice. Triple H wins, and then Sheamus gets his win back the next month. Why not just have Sheamus win? Whatever. Next up is CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio. Oh my god, this feud was so good. The feud was so well built. And the match they should have had, at WrestleMania 26, should have been what they got later on this year. But, like most of these matches, it was cut short to give more time to Bret Hart and Vince McMahon, and of course the main event. And so the match we got from these two was not that good. It was very underwhelming. And Rey Mysterio beat him in I don't know, 4 minutes. It was short. 4 minutes. What was also not good was CM Punk in 2010. They did not book him well at all. After booking him so awesome in 2009, they cracked the bed with CM Punk in 2010. I don't know why. I don't know what they were thinking. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was dumb. And a lot of what happened with CM Punk around this time does build into next year, where CM Punk has his moment. It's just sad that in 2010, if they would have cared for 10 seconds, imagine what he would have done. Imagine what he could have become. But whatever. All that mattered was the main event and this horrible freaking match. A no-holds-barred match between Bret Hart and Vince McMahon. Without a doubt, one of the worst WrestleMania matches in history. I love Bret. And I respect the hell out of Vince. And I kind of knew going in, I was at least expecting a squash match. I wasn't expecting what we got. But maybe like a 2-3 minute match where Bret just went in there, did a couple of moves, sharpshooter, bam, 1, 2, 3 is over. No, we sat through some of the most painful 11 minutes I've ever had in WrestleMania. both were limited. And Bret's health, because Bret, I don't know, I think he had like a stroke not too long ago. And of course, the head trauma he suffered in 2000. But Bret's health was not good. He was having a lot of issues. And Vince was at that age where even he couldn't do as good as he once did. The concept of the match was fine. Bret Hart was coming back for revenge because Vince McMahon was still mad at him for leaving the company long ago. So the build-up was fine. The concept was fine. But the execution sucked. And I'm sorry. Everybody says Bret Hart's match against Bob Backlund was his worst match. No. This is his worst match. This is worse than that match. But I won't give it an F because the concept was fine. I respect it for what it was. But it was horrible. Horrible match. What wasn't horrible was this WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Chris Jericho, the champion, taking on Edge. Great match. A hell of a match. These two had really good build. I think they were partners, and then Edge got hurt. He tore his Achilles tendon. Jericho ripped him in his promos, calling him a weak and injury prone. Edge returned at Royal Rumble, won the Royal Rumble, and the match was set up. Cool. Great match. Great job. And I'm happy. One of the reasons I went back and did this series was so I can catch the matches that I didn't appreciate at first, but do now. This is one of those matches, because at first when I saw it, I was alright with it. But now watching it, these two had a great match. They have an even better match. I think it's like a cage match at the next pay-per-view. I don't remember when it happened, but whenever that cage match happens this year, awesome. It was awesome. Please go out of your way to see it. Chris Jericho wins. Very pleased. Very pleased with this match. Alright, we have a Divas tag match that went 3 minutes. Not even that, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Around this time, the Divas, I hate using this term, but it's true. They were a piss break. Not because of who was in the match, but because of WWE. They didn't care about them. Their matches were 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute matches. It was horrible. It was garbage. And this match, what was it? Team Vicky Guerrero, Michelle McCool, Maurice, Alicia Fox, and Layla took on Team Mickey, Beth Phoenix, Mickie James, Kelly, Gail Kim, and Eve Torres. Team Vicky won. It wasn't even a match. Really, it wasn't even a match. Just horrible. Horrible. And they wonder why the women had such a hard time back then. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better, at least until WrestleMania, 32. It's sad. Horrible stuff. WWE Championship, Batista takes on John Cena. Good match. I thought it was a good match back then. I think it's a good match now. Once again, Batista doesn't get enough respect as a worker. And he was a heel. Batista's, his 2014 run, take it or leave it, but his heel run in 2009 to 2010, amazing. Loved it. I loved Batista back then, and I honestly feel like he should have beaten Cena here at WrestleMania. He really should have. But, of course, the only people they cared about in 2010, Randy Orton and John Cena, maybe Triple H, and maybe Taker. I'm not too sure. I just know it's Randy Orton and John Cena. Oh, my God. It's so bad. It's so bad around this time. It was so bad with how much they were obsessed with John Cena. But getting back to the match, I thought these two had a good match. I thought their feud was good. Although I hate the fact that Batista got bitched out and he was basically dominated by John Cena. Stupid. Batista leaves soon after this and tries his luck at Hollywood. You know, it was a typical, I kick out of your finisher and you kick out of my finisher match, but, you know, it was good. Main event time. WrestleMania Streak match number 17. Streak versus Career. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, number 2. Fantastic. I mean, come on. What else? What else do you expect out of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker? 2 of the biggest legends in the sport of wrestling. Come on now. You knew As soon as this match was announced, you knew you were getting a fantastic match, and that's exactly what we got. Was it as good as their WrestleMania 25 match? No. But I will say the hype for this match, stuff of legends. Love that video package we got for it. Love it. I've watched it like 10,000 times. I can't get enough of it. It's amazing. But these two have a fantastic match. Great chemistry. The near falls made the crowd pop big time. Commentary was great. I can't say anything else about it. One of the best matches, in my opinion, for Taker's streak. Yeah, it's one of the best matches that he's had in the streak. Now, the ending is the best part. You see Shawn Michaels are beaten down, battered, and Taker is begging Shawn to stare down. Just stare down. Stare down. Stare downward onto the ring. No, just joking. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. And Shawn begs him to end it. Just end it. Just end it. Just end it. Slaps Taker. Taker gets pissed. Picks him up. Does a leaping tombstone. Pins a 1, 2, 3. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of Shawn Michaels for WrestleMania. Post-match, we see them hug, embrace each other. They shake hands. And then Taker leaves the ring for Shawn Michaels to have his final moment with the fans. Following that, the Raw after this WrestleMania, he cuts a promo saying goodbye to everybody. There will never be anybody like Shawn Michaels. There won't. There's never going to be another Hogan. There's never going to be another Austin, another Rock. There's never going to be another Bret Hart. But there's never going to be another Shawn Michaels. He is Mr. WrestleMania. And even now, people are looking. They're still looking. They're still looking for that new WrestleMania, that new Mr. WrestleMania. I don't know. I don't know if there ever will be. I can hope maybe an AJ Styles. I can hope maybe somebody new comes in and takes that spot. But yeah, to me, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, he was the man. He was Mr. WrestleMania, and seeing him leave, that sucked. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shawn Michaels, for an awesome career. Thank you, Shawn Michaels, for giving me, this wrestling fan, an awesome run. And you have to remember, the first match I saw as a wrestling fan was Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, of course, he holds a special place in my heart. And hopefully one day, and this is something I'm going to say, the show was decent. The review's over. So those of you staying now, you're just kind of hearing me ramble. One of the days in the future of my life, I do hope to meet Shawn Michaels for real. That's something I hope to do. Just to shake his hand, to pick his mind about wrestling. We have a lot in common. We're both born here in Texas. We are both Christians. We're both huge wrestling fans. But I think if one day I get to have a wish, it would be to meet Shawn Michaels. I mean, I would love to meet everybody. I'd love to meet The Rock. I'd love to meet Austin. I'd love to meet Taker. I'd love to meet Triple H. I'd love to meet any of those guys. Absolutely. But the one person I want to meet, the one person I believe would give me the most fulfilling moment would be Shawn Michaels. Yeah. So those of you saying, oh, he's a Daniel Bryan fanboy, you're not lying. I am. But I'm an even bigger fanboy of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. There. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Well, now you know. Next year, here we go. WrestleMania 27. This one's gonna hurt a lot. Pray for me. I had to sit through this crappy Mania. Great. I hope you're watching this, and I hope you're enjoying it. I'll catch you guys next time. Into X-Men's World.